Revelation 2408a. From the 13th of July 1942. Strong or weakened will to receive. Love of God. Consciously immersing oneself in a spiritual state requires increased willpower and must therefore always and constantly be practiced, which is why the human being should not refrain from it in order not to become lukewarm and incapable for a task which requires such immersion. The human being must practice switching off all thoughts if he wants to hear the subtle voice within himself, and furthermore he must listen attentively within. God's Spirit is always ready to offer divine gifts, but the soul is not always able to accept what is offered to it. And as soon as the soul does not open itself completely, the Spirit cannot convey the divine gift to it, or the soul only hears unclearly and not quite comprehensibly what the Spirit wants to communicate to it from God. But the Spirit is willing and has precious goods to distribute, which is why the soul should make use of every opportunity to receive precious gifts. For this signifies spiritual wealth for the soul, which is everlasting. There are no limits for the receiving earthly child if only the human being's will is so strong that he completely detaches himself from the earthly world. As soon as he succeeds in doing so, the Spirit from God can already express itself and now instruct the human being. Listening inwards requires the greatest self-conquest, for all thinking must be switched off so that only spiritual good can be conducted from the heart to the brain. And this grace is the result of a right way of life before God and increased activity of love, and therefore the more active he practices neighborly love, the easier it will be for the human being to switch off his thoughts. The clearer and more comprehensible the thoughts will flow to him until the human being reaches the state without effort where the thoughts flow to him unstoppably and without pause and can be reproduced in the same way, for then the working of the Spirit is so strong that it must inevitably earn the human being abundant knowledge. But before that the human being still has to struggle and pray very hard, and the harder it is for him to enter into intimate contact with God and his beings in the beyond. Through heartfelt prayer he can request the strength from God which he needs for his soul to hear the voice of the Spirit within itself and thus receive the divine gift. Amen.